Are you looking to jailbreak your PS3 but unsure which method to use? In this video, I'll show you how to install HEN, or Homebrew Enabler, a powerful and safer way to unlock your PS3's full potential without permanently modifying the system. So, what's the difference between custom firmware and HEN? Custom firmware. This method fully unlocks the PS3, allowing you to install homebrew apps, run backups, and make deeper system modifications. However, it's only compatible with older PS3 models that support custom firmware installation, like PS3 FAT and some PS3 Slim models. For the tutorial on how to install custom firmware on the PS3, you can check out my video here. HEN, Homebrew Enabler. Unlike custom firmware, HEN is a temporary soft mod that works on all PS3 models, including PS3 Super Slim and some PS3 Slim models that can't install custom firmware. While it enables homebrew apps and backup games, it must be reactivated every time the PS3 restarts. In this tutorial, I'll guide you through the step-by-step process of installing HEN, so you can safely run homebrew apps, emulators, and backup games on your PS3. Let's get started. Alright, before we start, let's do some initial setup. First, we need to disable automatic updates. Right now, the latest official firmware at the time of this video can be jailbroken. But in the future, if a new firmware version is released and it's not jailbreakable, it could be a problem. That's why we're turning off automatic updates to prevent the PS3 from updating itself to the latest firmware when connected to the internet. To disable automatic updates, go to the Settings menu, System Settings. Then, go to the top option, Automatic Update, and set it to Off. Next, while still in the System Settings menu, scroll down a bit and disable the What's New menu display. Now, let's connect the PS3 to the internet. Stay in the Settings menu, scroll all the way down to Network Settings. Make sure Internet connection is set to Enabled. Then, select Internet Connection Settings. Choose OK. Then select Easy and press Right. Here, select your internet connection type, either LAN cable or wireless. In my case, I'll choose wireless and press right. Next, select Scan, then press right again. Choose your Wi-Fi SSID, press right, and select WPA-PSK if your Wi-Fi has a password. Press right, enter your Wi-Fi password, then press Start or select Enter. Press Circle, then select Test Internet Connection to make sure the PS3 is properly connected. As you can see here, we get the message Internet Connection Succeeded. Now, let's go back to the XMB Home menu. Next, we need to set the date and time correctly. Go to Settings, then select Date and Time Settings. First, set automatically to On, then select Date and Time and choose Set via Internet. Alright, now the date and time are correctly set. For some reason, the theme color has changed, so I'll reset it to the default color. That's it for the initial PS3 setup. Now, let's move on to the next step. In this step, we're going to download some necessary files, so let's move over to the computer. First, we need to download HFW, Hybrid Firmware, which we'll install on the PS3. This is required because we can't install HEN on the official firmware. Here, I'm already on the website, and as you can see, the HEN jailbreak method supports up to firmware version 4.91. Like I mentioned earlier, this happens to be the latest official firmware version at the time of this video. So, if in the future, your PS3 firmware is higher than 4.91, you won't be able to jailbreak it until a compatible version is released. That's why we disabled automatic updates earlier, to prevent the PS3 from updating itself to a non-jailbreakable firmware. What about PS3s with a firmware version below 4.91? No worries, you can still proceed. Your firmware will be updated to 4.91 when installing the hybrid firmware. To download the file, simply click the link here, then select Save or Download. While waiting for the custom firmware to finish downloading, we also need to download the MD5 Checker application. The function of this application is to ensure that the hybrid firmware file we copy to the flash drive remains unchanged and is not corrupted. This is important to prevent any errors during the installation process of the hybrid firmware on the PS3 later. To download, click the link below. Alright, I've now downloaded the required files. Next, let's extract both compressed files. Once extracted, you can delete the compressed files since we no longer need them. Next, plug your flash drive into the computer. Make sure it's formatted to FAT32. If not, format it first. Now, open the extracted Hybrid Firmware folder. We need to copy the PS3 folder, which contains the Hybrid Firmware file, to the root directory of the flash drive. Do not rename or modify the folder structure, as the PS3 will only detect it if it's named correctly. Next, we need to verify the MD5 hash of the Hybrid Firmware file after copying it to the flash drive. To do this, open the WinMD5 application that we downloaded earlier. Now, navigate to the PS3 update folder inside the flash drive. Drag and drop the Hybrid Firmware file into the WinMD5 application. Wait for it to generate the MD5 hash, which will be displayed below. Then, open the md5.txt file inside the extracted Hybrid Firmware folder. Copy the original MD5 hash from this file and paste it into the WinMD5 application in the box at the bottom. Click Verify to compare the MD5 with the original hash. If you see a matched message, it means the Hybrid Firmware file is good to install on the PS3. If you see unmatched, try copying the file again to the flash drive and repeat the verification process. If it's still unmatched, re-download the Hybrid Firmware and go through the steps again. Since the hash here matches correctly, we can move on to the next step. Now, we're going to install the Hybrid Firmware on the PS3, so let's switch back to the console. First, plug the USB flash drive containing the Hybrid Firmware into the PS3. Then, go to Settings, scroll to the top, and select System Update. Choose Update via Storage Media, and if the file is placed correctly and the name hasn't been changed, the Hybrid Firmware should be detected. Select Yes to proceed with the installation. Now, wait for the process to complete. The PS3 will restart automatically once the installation is done. Next, we're going to install HEN using the PS3's Internet browser. Go to the Network menu and open Internet browser. First, we need to adjust some settings. Press triangle to open the menu, then select Tools. Make sure cookies are set to Allow, JavaScript is set to On, and the most important setting, Confirm Browser Close, is set to Off, because if it's left on, the HEN installation will fail. Scroll down and select Home Page. Choose Use Blank Page, then confirm with OK. To ensure the browser runs smoothly, let's clear the browser data. Press triangle, go to Tools, and select Delete Cookies, then confirm with Yes. Do the same steps to delete search history, cache, and authentication information. Once everything is cleared, exit the browser and reopen it to apply the changes. Now, we move on to installing HEN. Start by opening the Internet browser. Press Start, then type in the following URL. Once the page loads, bookmark it first so you don't have to type the URL again. Press Select, then choose Add to Bookmarks, and go back. Now, select the PS3 HEN menu, located at the top corner, then choose HEN Auto Installer. If a message appears asking to overwrite and save, select it and wait for the download process to complete. Then, select Back. Bookmark this page again by pressing Select, choosing Add to Bookmarks, and then returning to the main page. Next, click the Auto Install HEN button and wait for the exploit initialization process to complete. If you encounter a failed attempt, like this example, simply exit the browser and re-enter. Press Select to open the Bookmarks menu, then select the PS3 HEN Auto Installer bookmark that was saved earlier. Just like before, choose Overwrite and Save. Then select Auto Install HEN again and wait for the process to complete. Once you see the message Auto HEN Installer Initialization Successfully, do not press anything. Just let the installation and download process run automatically. Wait until the PS3 restarts by itself. After rebooting, you should now see the HEN logo on the boot screen, confirming that HEN has been successfully installed on your PS3. At this point, you can disable the internet connection since it is no longer needed. Now, let's try activating HEN. As mentioned earlier, every time the PS3 restarts, you need to reactivate HEN to enjoy jailbreak features just like on a custom firmware. To do this, select Enable HEN, then wait for the activation process to complete. Once successful, you'll see a notification confirming the activation, and in the game menu, you'll notice a new option, Package Manager. This is where you can install homebrew applications, backup games, and more. Next, I'll show you how to install the Game Manager, specifically WebMAN, and how to play backup games. First, we will install the Game Manager application, WebMAN. Here, I'm already on its website. Scroll down and download the latest version, which is compatible with firmware 4.91. Click Download here. Next, copy the WebMAN installer file to your flash drive. Make sure the flash drive is formatted to FAT32, otherwise, it won't be detected by the PS3. Place the PKG file in the root folder of the flash drive. Once done, eject the flash drive and plug it into the PS3. Now let's go back to the PS3. To install the PKG file that we copied to the flash drive earlier, go to the Game menu and select Package Manager. Then choose Install Package Files, followed by Standard. You'll see the PKG file, which is the WebMAN installer, detected here. Next, simply select it to start the installation process. Wait for the process to complete. Once it's done, return to the Game menu. You'll notice a new icon has been added, labeled WebMAN Mod Installer. What we installed earlier was just the installer. Next, select it again to install the WebMAN application. As you can see here, there are two installation options, full or light. I'll install the full version. As instructed, hold down L1 while running the installer. Wait for the installation process to finish. Once completed, we can delete the installer since it's no longer needed. Press triangle, then select Delete. To see the WebMAN application we installed earlier, we need to reactivate HEN since the PS3 restarted. To do this, select Enable HEN and wait for the activation process to complete. Now, as you can see, in addition to Package Manager, there is a new menu called WebMAN Games. This is the menu selection available in WebMAN. Alright, the installation process for the WebMAN Game Manager is complete. Now, I'll show you how to play backup games using WebMAN. For that, let's head back to the computer. There are three types of PS3 backup games available today. The first is in ISO format, the second is in the form of a PKG file, and the last is a backup game in folder format, which contains all the files needed to run a game. For backup games in ISO format and folder format, you simply copy them directly to a flash drive or the PS3's internal hard drive. Then, use the WebMAN application to scan them so they can be detected on the PS3. Meanwhile, for backup games in PKG format, you need to install them just like we installed the WebMAN application earlier. After installation, the game icon will appear in the game menu as well. As an example here, I'm using a backup game in ISO format. I've already copied the game to the flash drive. For your information, backup games in ISO format need to be placed inside a folder named PS3 ISO. Then, put the backup game file into that folder. Okay, now let's eject the flash drive and return to the PS3. Plug the flash drive containing the game into the PS3. Then, go to WebMAN Games and select WebMAN Setup. Next, choose Refresh WebMAN Games and XMB. WebMAN will start scanning for game files stored on both the flash drive and the internal hard drive of the PS3. As you can see from the notification, it has detected one game stored on the flash drive. However, if we check the game menu, there are no games displayed yet. To make the game appear, we need to restart the PS3. To do this, go to the Network menu, select Hybrid Firmware Tools, then choose Restart, and finally, select Full Restart. Alternatively, you can restart the PS3 normally by turning it off and on again from the Power menu. Once the PS3 has restarted, we need to reactivate HEN. Select Enable HEN and wait for the activation to complete. Now, go back to the WebMAN Games menu. As you can see, under WebMAN's setup, there is now a new menu called PlayStation 3 Game. The game we scanned earlier is now listed here. Select the game to load it. Now, we are brought back to the game menu, and as you can see, the game has appeared at the bottom. Let's run the game and see if it works. The game is running successfully. Alright, we have successfully installed HEN and WebMAN on our PS3. Now, we can play backup games directly from a USB flash drive or the internal hard drive. Remember, every time you restart your PS3, you need to enable HEN again before running any homebrew applications or backup games. That's it for this tutorial. I hope this guide helps you successfully jailbreak your PS3 and play your favorite games. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.